Hello everybody, this is your Gallifreyan Time Dragon, Murphy Slaugh again. Today, on this particular episode, I'm going to be, I guess, a little bit more serious, still having some fun, but something where I can at least sit down and talk. What I'd like to talk to you about today is this series. I know that I've shown it on the Fursuit Friday, but I think that some of y'all should try to check it out. It is very interesting. What this is In Search Of. It's an old DVD set. The DVDs were from a TV show that aired from late 70s to early 80s. And it's hosted by, as you can see, none other than Star Trek's own Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy. Now, this series, again, in the 70s and 80s, dealt a lot with Earth mysteries and stuff that people may have questions about. For instance, you've got Stonehenge, Bermuda Triangle, the Nazca Lines, Amelia Earhart's disappearance, Easter Island, and sort of mundane subjects that maybe are not completely understood, like psychic investigators, witchcraft, voodoo, acupuncture, killer bees, the Shroud of Turin, and other mysteries that just no one's been sure about. Now, each of these covers has, as you can see, 3 discs. Each disc has about 8 episodes on it, so there's 7 of these covers, so there's quite a lot of information here. It is pretty interesting to see what these mysteries meant to us back then, as some of them have in fact been explored a little more. Others have been kind of pushed off to the side. Still, some are somewhat relevant today, like, for instance, UFOs, alien visitors and whatnot. That's a pretty good series. I mean, you've got stuff like Jimmy Hoffa's disappearance, the King Solomon's Mines, you've got hurricanes. There's the Dark Star and the Dogons, that deals with the ancient tribe that have paintings on their wall and that have a story dealing with a star up in the sky that has been around, that they've known about for a long, long time, even before telescopes and whatnot. But somehow their history is tied up in it. You've also got stuff like air disaster predictions, Mary Celeste, for instance, Glenn Miller and his disappearance. You've got immortal sharks, which is how is it that sharks can live for such a long time. Let's see, you've got tidal waves, which I know is kind of mundane, but still. You've got so many subjects here that each one takes about maybe an hour to watch. Each episode, that is, not the disc or the cover. On this one you've got, I can read it right side up, you've got The Fountain of Youth by Ponce, that was supposedly discovered by Ponce de Leon. You've got The Great Wall of China. You've got Lee Harvey Oswald. Let's see, Moon Madness, Lunacy, volcanoes, the Lindenberg kidnapping. You've got the death of Marilyn Monroe, the Holy Grail, and I won't go through all of them, trust me, but it's a pretty interesting series. So, especially since this was the late 70s, early 80s, so a lot of the science is pretty old-fashioned, i.e. before internet, World Wide Web, and all that stuff. But it is a pretty good series, and I think y'all should try to check it out. It took me a long while to try to track it down, but I'm happy that I did. Oh yeah, it says on here there's 146 episodes, so it will take you a while to watch. It is pretty fascinating. I think y'all should check it out, especially those of you gray muzzles who may remember the show from TV. I know some of you younger furs probably had never heard of this, but it is pretty fascinating. Well, that's it for me. Just thought I'd let you know about this. You may have to go online and get it. I can't remember where I've had it for a while, so but I think that y'all should check it out. It would be good to see what people thought of stuff like the Titanic, before the movie was made, of course, and other series. Again, some of them have been explored and have actually been explained. Others, there will be no explanation. So, like for instance, the Nazca lines. In case those of you that are wondering what I'm talking about, in Nazca, Peru, there are pictures drawn on the ground. Some of these pictures are like 30 miles across. The thing is that the pictures can only be seen from the air, which pretty much means that somehow someone would have had to be in the air in order to direct those on the ground to making these pictures. Because, okay, yes, they were drawn between 500 BC and 500 AD, so yes, they were kind of crude, but the lines are straight. And trying to have someone on the ground drawing a straight line, without deviation, without wobbling all over the place, and have it in such crisp, clear picture that you can tell exactly what it is for most of the parts. Some of these are just geometrical figures, but you've got like a man, you've got a hummingbird, a condor, an ant, a monkey, and again, there's no explanation as how they drew these things, considering they wouldn't be able to see what they were drawing. And who would they be for? Because no one would have been in the air. This was long before the Wright brothers, long before the Montpelier and hot air balloons. How did they draw them, and who were they drawn for? But anyway, that's just one of the mysteries that are in this collection of In Search Of. So I highly recommend that y'all check it out and get it for those that are interested in like mysteries of the earth and stuff like that. And that's it for me for right now. So I will bid y'all all a good day. There's a bit of a storm raging outside, and I'm kind of half afraid that the electricity is going to go out. So before it does, I'm going to go ahead and say, this is your Gallifreyan Time Dragon. I'm no mystery to anybody out here, but I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one. I love all of y'all. Goodbye.